Welcome to the Padres Minor League Report, the show on Fox Sports San Diego that takes you down inside the organizational's chain on the road to the show. I'm your host, Craig Elston. We'll be taking you every other week to each of the major stops for the Padres as their prospects travel toward Petco Park. Joining me on the show is a man who has been covering the Padres minor leagues for the better part of a decade for MadFriars.com, John Conniff. Now, John, here we are in the Cal League with Lake Elsinore. How far are these Storm prospects away from playing in the major leagues?
They're this is about right in the middle for the Padres minor league system. You know, they've already had usually an experience in a full season in Fort Wayne, and now they're about probably 2 years away, I would say, from the major leagues, having a shot at that.
We're in the Cal League. Describe the Cal League. Is it a hitter's league, a pitcher's league, and what should fans expect to see from top prospects who play in this league?
Well, the Cal League is really hitter friendly because so many of the games are played in really warm weather environments, so the ball travels really well, it's thin air. Actually, Lake Elsinore is kind of more of a fair park for the Cal League, but it very much favors hitters at this level.
Now, over the course of the next couple of shows, we'll be bringing you interviews with some of the top players here in Lake Elsinore. But as a quick overview to get us started, John, who are some of the guys we should be looking at?
Well, they're really strong up the middle. You know, you got Travis Jankowski in center field, Jace Peterson and Corey Spangenberg are a nice double play combination, a good pitcher in James Needy. But probably the most interesting prospect is the catcher they have out of San Juan Capistrano, Austin Hedges.
And as a matter of fact, a little bit earlier today, I had the opportunity to sit down and talk with Austin as he begins his path to the major leagues. Austin, welcome to the Padres Minor League Report. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Let's talk a little bit about life here in the minor leagues. You're into your second professional season now in minor league baseball. First year with the Lake Elsinore Storm. How would you describe the experience so far?
Oh, it's been unreal. You know, just being in pro ball is a dream come true. Been wanting to play ball since being a little kid, and just being out here playing the sport that I love every single day. I can't ask for anything more.
Growing up in Tustin, what first introduced you to the game?
My dad just had me playing t-ball. He always grew up loving the game. Didn't play or anything, but just he coached me in t-ball, and then really growing up in travel ball. And as things escalated, I mean, just started. I basically loved the game from day one.
There's always a point in a young athlete's career where a game clicks for you, you know, and you get that feeling like, you know what, this is not only something I know I can do, it's something I really know I want to do. What was that moment for you?
I mean, it was early. I mean, probably 9, 10, 11 years old. I was playing travel ball. I always played on a really good team, and I loved the game. I loved the competition part of it. I mean, I played other sports growing up too, but I think baseball just stuck with me.
Now, getting to the position of catcher, quite often, especially in youth leagues, the catching gear is thrust upon a guy like, hey, make Austin the catcher, all right? Was that something you actually embraced?
Oh yeah, 100%. I started catching, I mean, really once I started playing baseball, and it pretty much started with, I thought the gear was pretty cool. I saw the gear, I was like, oh, I get to put this stuff on, this is awesome. So started catching, really started being pretty good at it, and then just started learning more and more, going to baseball camps, and then had a few really good coaches growing up, and then I guess it worked out pretty good.
Now, coming through your junior into senior year of high school, obviously getting a lot of hype, recognition, getting recruited, UCLA comes calling, you had a family pedigree at UCLA, and then once the summer rolls around, you get drafted by the San Diego Padres. Was that a difficult decision for you, college versus the pros?
Yeah, it was, definitely. I mean, I wanted to go to UCLA for a long time. My dad went there, and I mean, I followed them, their whole athletic program, baseball, basketball, football, for as long as I can remember, and it was always a dream to go there. So getting my degree was important to me too at the time, but when I got drafted by the Padres, the whole situation was just it was a great position to put myself and my family, and it was something I couldn't say no to, and I have no regrets, and I'm glad to be here with them.
When I first heard about you, Austin, the first thing that you heard from scouts, from folks who are discussing you, says the glove is ready to play in the major leagues. The offense is what's going to take time to develop. How do you feel you are personally along your growth arc toward the bigs?
I'd like to think I'm scratching the surface every day, trying to get better at something, whether it's catching, whether it's hitting, whether any part of my game. Big thing for me right now is really trying to work with the pitchers, getting better at calling games, and establishing a trust with them, so they want to throw to me. They can trust me back there. Offense, my defense might overshadow my offense a little bit, so I take that personally, and I want to work as hard as I can to make my offense as good as my defense.
You have a former big league catcher to lean on here in Sean Wooten. What type of influence has he been for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, since spring training, really, he's gone out of his way to chime in on all kinds of things. Since I haven't been playing, actually, I've learned even more, because I can just kind of sit there and in his back pocket, and anything that he sees from the manager's point of view, or things that he learned in his career, he can just tell me, and I can sit there and just kind of listen and watch and learn from him.
Well, I'll tell you what, Padre fans excited to see you back out on the field. Obviously have a chance to come up here to Lake Elsinore and see you play as well. Austin Hedges, our guest here on the Padres Minor League Report. Thanks so much, Austin. Best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The Padres Minor League Report rolls on here from Lake Elsinore, California, and we're joined now by Storm manager Sean Wooten. Sean, you had a successful playing career in the major leagues as a catcher. We always hear about how catchers are destined to become big league managers. Was this something that was in your mind while you were in the big leagues?
Not really. I think after I got out of the big leagues and started realizing that I had to do something after baseball, and just kind of seemed like a natural fit. You go look back at the big league team that I was on with the Angels. You had Sosha, then you had Buddy Black, Joe Madden, who now is a big league manager, and then you go Ron Renicky. So they all seem like they made it to the big leagues as a manager. So I said I'll take a little bit of all those and try to incorporate something into my coaching ability and go from there. And so here we are.
Well, we've heard about that Sosha coaching tree. So can we count you amongst the Sosha coaching tree?
Well, I was never really in the meetings. I was getting more yelled at by. No, he was good to me. So I like it. I like what he taught. He brought a little bit of a National League game to American League, and coming up through the American League, it's more of the 3-run home run. Wait for that. But I think you got to mix both of them in, and that was something that I learned from him. And then you start going down the line with what Buddy taught me. When it comes to game calling and attacking hitters and just the communication between catcher and pitcher and how important it is. And you can start going down the line with almost every manager I probably had in my career, and you try to take the good and learn from the bad from them and try to incorporate that into what you do.
Now, you're obviously very aware as a player about coming up the chain and dreaming for the show. You managed at Fort Wayne. Mm-hmm. Now you're here at Lake Elsinore. Is it kind of the same thing, moving up the chain as a skipper?
I think so, a little bit. I think I really don't know. to be honest with you. I think there's a lot to it. You know, you see guys that get done playing and, you know, they go straight into big league managing or big league coaching, and then, you know, I would rather do it this way. It feels like I learn a lot more. It feels like I learn a lot more about what these things when it comes to coaching in a game or whatever. The small things that I really never thought of as a catcher. As a catcher, I always got the sign, then I'd go out and have to execute it. Now it's, you know, I'm given the sign, I want this play, and that was something a lot different for me from that side of it. So it actually is a great learning process for me.
Now, there's a definite conflict that's different from the major leagues where it's just W's and L's and that's how you are judged. In the minor leagues, player development is such a huge part of it. What's that conflict like in the single-A dugout between trying to win tonight's game and trying to get these players ready for the next level?
I always say it, I think from a coaching standpoint, it's developing to win. You want to develop. You want to develop their game. You want to teach them how to play it, one, you know, especially at a lower level, the pro side of the game, and then develop them to be more consistent at everything they do and improve on the things that they need to work on, and then teach them how to win. I think it's a little bit of all that combined into one, without losing the focus of that we're playing, that we're getting them ready for Petco, and that's the bottom line. So you know, every field, I mean, every team plays a little bit different. You know, the Rockies are probably playing for Coors Field, even though I've never been in, you know, that organization as a coach. But it's for me to imagine that that's what they're kind of shooting for, just like we're you know, with the run ball game, with the small ball in a sense of moving guys over, bunting, that type of thing. You know, but also teaching them how to drive the ball. So, and playing defense is as important as it comes, especially when it comes to run ball games. So there is a lot that comes into it from our development side of making sure that they stay on track and get ready to play in Petco, but they also need to know how to win when they get there.
All right, before we let you go, a lot of exciting players on your ball club, and certainly maybe the win-loss not where you want it right now, but that's what we were just talking about. You're up the middle. Mm-hmm. There's got to be something that's exciting for you to pencil in every single day.
Absolutely. I mean, you got, I mean, all the way down the line from our starting catcher when Hedges is healthy, all the way to our, you know, the two guys up the middle to our center fielder. There's not any more athletic guys in this league, and you know, the future is bright for these kids, and you know, as long as they just stay on that track of understanding what their game is. They get away with some, you know, they hit a home run here in the Cal League, and it's a hitter's league, and next thing you know, you got to reel them back in and realize and tell them what they need to get back to doing and those things. But with, you know, letting them understand that it's okay to hit those balls out at times. And so it's those small things that you keep teaching them, but they're athletic, they can steal bases. There's a lot of different ways that they can win a ball game for you, either with their glove, with their bat, with their speed, and it gets exciting when you get to see them go out there and play every day.
Store manager Sean Wooten, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for having me.
Now let's go inside the Storm dugout, where Sean Wooten agreed to be mic'd up for the Storm's game that night against Modesto.
I haven't gone 3-0 to anybody all game.
There you go, 3 out of the first game.
You know, and all of a sudden, that's the time where you keep that same, remember what we talked about earlier, where you keep that same mentality, like, this is your game, you know? Yeah. This might be the only run you get, who knows? But if you pitch like it is, and you pitch like, oh, I can't give up a run, you're going to give up a run. Because you haven't been pitching like to give up a run, you've been pitching to get out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So keep going. Come on, go. You gotta go. What was that? Hey, that boy. Hey, good base running. Right behind you. Okay. Come on, you gotta go. Spangenberg scores on a base hit to left field. Ah, shit. Is he ready?
Out again. Let me know when he's ready.
Forget it.
It's got to be doing close.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it it was either before or not at all, you know. I mean, they got to do a better job of communicating to us. Because like, if he's 2 pitches away or 3 pitches away, I could walk out there, delay it, and get him in the game, you know. Plus he gets the 8. Shoot. God dang it. Are you ready?
Perfect. Good games.
Let's go. What is? Come on, bud. Man on second base, nobody out, okay? Come on. Yep. You read my mind. You guys need to let us know that. You guys have to be paying attention.
Okay.
Well, how far along was he when he faced that guy?
Yeah, we called down and we needed 5 more.
He called down and needed 5 more. Robert, pick the tempo up. Come on. You know what I'm talking about? The Harlem Shake. That's funny.
Harlem Shake.
It's like on the internet, I don't know. We have to find a better way to do this. The way we have right now, it takes too long. They don't know what's going on.
Not every night in a minor league dugout is going to be perfect, but it's a manager's job to keep his team focused for the next day. We came back to the Diamond to talk with more of the top Padres prospects.
We begin with a first-round draft pick in 2011. Corey Spangenberg was brought into the Padres minor league system as a natural second baseman with tremendous speed and leadoff abilities. Let's find out how he's doing and his progress toward the major leagues. MadFriars.com's John Conniff had the chance to sit down with Corey.
Corey had a very good season in 2011. Can you tell us why you had so much success your first year out of the draft?
I just think I was nice and relaxed. I had a great coaching staff in Pat Murphy and Chris Prieto and even Nelson Cruz. It made me fit right in and my teammates were great.
Describe your game a little bit. You play second base, and what type of hitter are you to play?
I feel like I'm a hitter who hits all parks, has a little pop, and who can run the bases pretty well.
Yeah, now you talk about running the bases pretty well. That's probably one of the better parts of your game. You're described as a plus runner. And this year, I think you've stolen at least 14 bases, only been caught once. What makes you so successful in stealing a base?
You try to study the pitcher, know what he has, know what his pickoff move is. You try to run in good counts, just be a smart base runner.
Yeah, also your slugging percentage has gone up a little bit this year. Is it more of a question that you've gotten stronger, or you're understanding more what people are trying to do to you at the play?
I think it's a little bit of both. I really worked hard this offseason to get where I'm at, and starting to become a smarter hitter, hitting the ball where it's pitched, not trying to do too much with it, just putting a good part of the bat on the ball.
Now you talk about working hard. I mean, most people aren't really aware that you suffered a pretty serious concussion last year just by playing catch. So can you tell us a little bit how that happened?
Yeah, I was out for a good month and a half. Was dizzy every day, and it was tough because you can't do anything with concussion. You just have to let it go.
So how tough is it just to sit there and go, wait for hopefully tomorrow's better? Is that essentially how you get better?
Yeah, because you can't do anything about it. You can just sit there and really just wait till your body tells you you're ready, and it took a lot longer than I wanted to or I thought.
Now, how did you prepare for the season coming up? You know, being aware of the concussion, did it affect any part of your game, or did you really have to focus on it not being a distraction to you?
I think when I came back last year, it affected some of my game, but then I went home for about 2 weeks and then went back to the fall league, and everything was better, so I don't think it really affected me this year.
Now, you were drafted, you were playing third base. I remember one of your years in college you played shortstop. You played second, I think, in high school. Now you're at second base all the time. How have you found the adjustment to second base?
It's been fine. I played second base before. Actually, third base, I've only played there 1 year, and that was my draft year.
Right.
So I've been used to being up the middle more.
Now, second base, they always talk about it's so difficult with the different angles that you got to take. Is that kind of a tougher position, thought-wise, than like maybe shortstop?
I just think you need a lot of routines there. Just a lot of routines, get your footwork, know where to throw, how to throw it, different angles.
You know, when I was out at spring training, you looked really comfortable because you're playing with Jace Peterson, who's a shortstop, and you guys are like best friends on the field and seems like off the field. Does that just help an added comfort level for you this year?
Yeah, it definitely does. We've been good friends ever since we got drafted. I went to hang out with him in the offseason. I flew down to Louisiana, and we've just hit it off ever since being drafted.
So what's the biggest thing that you're trying to work for to improve going into this year?
Everything. You can never be satisfied with where you're at. Hitting, fielding, obviously speed.
Now, how'd you get used to the minor league lifestyle? I mean, you played in college, you played about 40 games, 50 games a season. You start playing 140 games, it's every day. You have a couple bad days that suddenly takes your numbers down. How do you get used to the grind?
I mean, it's tough.
Yeah?
Exactly what you said, it's a grind. You just have to go out there every day with a clear head, forget about yesterday and just work on today.
Well, it's a lot easier for people like me to write that, but for guys like you to actually perform it, it must take quite a bit of discipline.
Yeah, it is tough. I think that's the hardest thing going into pro ball is playing every day. You just honestly have to get used to it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Corey, for your time. Appreciate it. Best of luck this year.
Thanks for having me.
Boy, I tell you, John, Corey seems like a terrific kid. Obviously, a lot of pressure on him, too, being a first-round draft pick in 2011. What do you think is the #1 thing Spangenberg needs to do to accelerate his path to the major leagues?
Well, you know, it's hard to say because, I mean, he does so many things really well. But to make it to the major leagues, you have to do something well like 8 times out of 10 instead of 5 times out of 10. So when you talk to the Padres, I think all the tools are there. Maybe get a little bit better defensively at second base, maybe a little more patient at the plate.
Coming out of spring training, this Storm team just packed with top organizational prospects. And it's a good sign of progress, I think, John, that already one of them has moved on. Matt Whistler, who Padres pitching coach Darren Balsley said to both of us, probably the guy he's most excited about in the minor league system. He's already been promoted to AA San Antonio.
Yeah, we were a little shocked at that. I mean, it was kind of a quick promotion. He's very young. He's only 20 years old. But he was throwing, as you know, in spring around 9 to 8 miles per hour, and that's going to get some people's attention with that fastball. And he also has some very good secondary pitches, too.
And it's really part of the sign of progress within the chain. You saw Birch Smith go from AA to the majors. Now he's in the AAA Tucson rotation. Whistler takes his spot in AA, and so the wheel keeps turning.
It's a very fluid process. People go up and down all the time.
Of course, part of what makes Storm baseball so incredibly entertaining and unique in the minor leagues, their coterie of crazy mascots. You start with Jackpot the Bunny, who helps run the out-of-town scoreboard in right field. Then you have the grounds crew Gorilla, who keeps the fans entertained with his crazy antics in between innings. And the lovable green dog Thunder, the primary mascot of the Storm, who dances on the dugout during the game. Then there's one mascot who's got everybody talking. It's the world's fastest squirrel. And look, I was actually able to track him down, the world's fastest squirrel. I was able to run him down, and it's Eric Thies. All right, Eric, you got to tell me, how did the world's fastest squirrel come to be?
I mean, I came out here looking for a job and, got a chance with the Storm baseball, and they found out I was a runner. I'm from New York. I went to SUNY Oneonta, great small college, and they found out I had some speed, and I was a 400-meter runner, and I had some success in track, and our promotions guy said, hey, we need to do something with this. Most mascots lose a race to a little kid or something like that. We need to beat fans, and that's kind of how it all came about.
Now, tell me, how have the fans responded to you bringing your act out on the field?
It's a lot of fun. I think they get a kick about how fast. That's all I hear is, oh, wow, you're so fast, you're so fast. So I think that's what they like the most. And I think they get a kick about the runners too, my contestants, so it's great.
Now, of course, like any highly tuned professional athlete or runway supermodel, you're only as good as your next race, Eric. Are you ever worried about losing one of these things?
Every time. I still get nervous these days, whether I'm racing you or racing a little kid. I get nervous. I think it's just myself from being a runner, but I just give it a whirl and take a shot.
Has anyone ever come close to actually beating you?
Yeah, I had a guy come close a couple weeks back. I had to make the last-minute dive, and I think it was the tail that put it over the edge for the win. So,
how much aerodynamic drag does that thing put on you?
It's a little tough, but I've kind of gotten used to it, so it's great.
Now, of course, every minor league player wants to take his act to the show. You had the chance to run at Petco Park recently.
Yeah, the Padres approached me. They got to come here, and they usually watch our guys play, and they saw the act, and they said, hey, we got to have some fun with this. And it just the way that it happened, going down there to race, and gave the guy a bigger lead than most, but it worked out, and just the way the Padres ended up in a come-from-behind win, they loved it. So.
Yeah, in fact, Bud Black is now a big fan of the Rally Squirrel. Eric, what an incredible job you do here for the Lake Hills North Storm. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, that's going to do it for the opening edition of the Padres Minor League Report on Fox Sports San Diego. I sure hope you've enjoyed our tour of the Diamond here in Lake Elsinore and getting a chance to know some of the Padres stars of the future as they play today. For more information on everything that's happening here in Lake Elsinore, you can always go to stormbaseball.com. So that'll do it. Until next time, I'm Craig Elston. We'll see ya on the road to the show.